In this tutorial we're going to take a look at tax. Now the sort of tax we're talking about is a GST or a VAT type tax, so it's a transaction value added tax. So you can record tax on income and expense transactions and also on your management fee. So if we go over to Functions, Setup and Options, this is where we set the tax rate to be charged on our management fee or our disbursement fee. So this is quite common. Normally you'd charge GST or VAT on your management fee. So I've got it set up to 15%. That's the current GST rate in New Zealand. We can also, if we want to, charge tax on income and expense transactions. This is less common, but if you've got commercial property, then you'd quite often want to charge tax on your income and expenses. So let's say I choose rent as the income group. Down here I can specify what the tax rate for this income group is. So I'm going to set it to 15%, which is the current GST rate, and the same can apply to expenses as well. For each expense group you can specify what your tax rate is going to be. So now, as I said, not all properties want to have tax charged. If you have a mixture of commercial properties and also residential properties, then you'll want to charge tax on the commercial properties but not the residential ones. So what you can do over here on the property itself, let's take a look at property 2. I've got this tick box down here ticked which says transaction tax exempt. So this would be my residential property. We don't want to charge tax on this one. But if we go to property 1, this tick box is not ticked, which means that whatever tax rate I've set on the income and expense groups, that tax will be charged against this property. So property 1 could be my commercial property. So now when I go over here and start entering transactions, I'm going to add a new transaction. I'm going to choose income group as rent because that's the one I've got my tax rate set up on. Now down here I can enter the inclusive tax and exclusive value. So if I enter the inclusive value of 100, it automatically calculates my tax and my tax exclusive values. If I was to zero that out and come over here, I could actually enter the exclusive value, and it then automatically calculates my tax as 15% and adds the tax on. Now if I choose property 2, property 2 was the property that was transaction tax exempt. So if I choose property 2, you can see it automatically blanks out that tax. If I go back and choose property 1 again, it puts the tax back in again. So that's how we can have some properties with tax and some without. Now the other type of tax was on the management fees. So if we go over to owners, disbursements, and we do a new disbursement, down here it automatically calculates our management fee, and again it calculates the tax value and the tax exclusive value. So as you can see, most of the work is done is setting up the tax rates. If you get your tax rates set up on your income and your expense groups and for your management fee, and then every time you enter your expense transactions or income transactions or disbursements, it'll automatically calculate the tax for you. So it's all very simple, all calculated for you.